All right, so we're back with Stakes and Takes. Let's do a college football recap, then a quick NFL recap, and then we'll jump in, give our predictions on some college football. What is it, week 8?
I believe so.
NFL week 7. Let's jump right in. Last week we had Texas. We both had Texas beating Oklahoma.
And boy, did they beat Oklahoma.
But we both thought Oklahoma was going to be a good rival. We thought the Red River rivalry was going to hold strong. It was going to be a close game.
You also gave the fake news that Quinn Ewers was not starting.
Yeah,
that
happened.
Literally, I went home and it was like Quinn Ewers is starting.
Yeah, it was a last-minute decision. So,
last-minute decision on Tuesday.
I am Donald Trump's worst nightmare now. Fake news. Moving on. We won that game, though. Texas.
But yeah, Texas 34-3.
Dubs for us.
This dominated OU. OU had no answer. They couldn't do anything on offense.
The Nittany Lions took down the Trojans in overtime.
We got lucky on this one. USC was dominating. Dude. I think they were up 20-3 or 20-6 at halftime.
Yeah, it was.
They were like dancing on the sideline and shit. And Penn State stormed back. Did you see it? The Penn State
yes, I saw it.
Tight end, 17 catches for like 240 yards.
You can see my nails. They look terrible. I've been chewing them up all weekend over all these games I had to watch. They were all close, tough games to watch.
Except for Texas. That was every game was close. Penn State somehow pulled it out of their ass. So, overtime win at USC.
Fun fact, Texas was the only game of the 5 for college football that we picked that the favorite line covered the spread. So
I believe it.
Fun fact for you. Penn State missed the spread. They won in overtime by 3. Good game. Nail biter. Impressive. Ohio State lost to Oregon by 3, I believe, right? Or by 1?
By 1.
By 1.
Ohio State, they boneheaded decision.
Yeah.
It would have been a very long field goal. They probably wouldn't have made it, but you got to give your kicker a chance. Quarterback slid with 0 seconds left. Thought he had time. Oregon wins. Oregon, a huge win at home. Big Ten.
You know what makes me happy, though? The guy on Twitter, or X, Ohio's Tate.
Yes.
He had to eat like 30 peeps because that was he made a thing for every game for Ohio's season, and he lost, so he had to eat like a whole bunch of peeps. That made me feel good.
Big win for Oregon, probably.
Big loss for us.
Probably the win. Well, I would say it's right up there with Alabama's win over Georgia's, like the most impressive win. And Alabama went and screwed the pooch the week after, so look out for Oregon this week.
Yep. Number 9, Ole Miss. I had Ole Miss at
loses to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Tigers pulled it out of their ass. Ole Miss had plenty of chances to put this game away. They couldn't. So, LSU hung in there. Defense finally showed out. Nussmeier, after struggled a lot of the game, but when it counted, came up clutch, won in overtime. Ole Miss sucks.
There's your time.
Ole Miss has not won in Tiger Stadium since 2008. Go Tigers, fuck Ole Miss.
Fair. I lost the pick.
I got it right.
Good job. Kansas State and Colorado.
I got this one wrong. Colorado, I thought.
Well, they almost did.
They had like 3 minutes left. They took the lead.
Yeah. It was another good game.
I think what Colorado's proven, they lost this game. Kansas State won. Congrats, Kansas State. But Colorado's proven they are better than they were last year. They can compete.
What Deion's son is on defense?
Shiloh, he talks shit on his son. Which,
if Shiloh would have played better, they probably would have won.
Yeah.
But don't miss that open field tackle.
A few
Get
of them.
juked out of your knees.
Yes. And your dad calls you out.
But I respect him.
No, I respect it too.
Right.
He
goes back to the Deion ways. It's tough love. He's gonna get better. Those are obvious things where you just you can't do, but you did it, so you just got to learn from it. I got it right. KSU won. They missed the spread by 4. Colorado lost. Close win for me.
Can't be mad about that one.
No, exactly. Moving on. Yeah, college football 3-2. NFL. My turn to talk. Buccaneers at Saints. Bucks won. They covered the spread. Got the
congrats.
under.
You beat a
rookie
quarterback who was like a 7th-round pick.
Yeah, we beat up on an injured team. I just warned you not to pick with your heart.
Well, it looked like for a while the Saints were going to somehow pull it off. After going down 17-0, they stormed back with 20 straight points.
Dude, I had a
close for a while, and then in the 4th, they fell apart. The Bucks just.
Baker
Mayfield almost had the Baker Mayfield game where it's like he's gonna fuck this up.
Right. I had a 7-leg parlay. Every leg hit, but Mike Evans. I needed him to score 40 yards. He got 38.
Yeah,
and he got 38 in like the first half.
And
so.
then he went to the locker room.
Yeah, he just chilled. He's like, I had to poo. So, Bucks won, Saints lost. Probably one of the last times we'll be talking about the Saints this season, because as it goes further, we'll be talking more and more about the better teams, or the teams we think are going to be ending up in the playoffs.
Speaking of better teams, the Ravens, we both got this one right, beat the Commanders 30-23, but it was a solid performance from Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Yeah, dude, a rookie performance, putting up numbers like he is, putting up performances like he is, facing teams like the Ravens and holding his own for as long as the team. It was
almost a win-win because the Ravens look good, got the win. Commanders look good.
Better than the Cowboys.
They're promising. But yeah, I think the Ravens are legit.
That divisional game, actually.
What's that?
Commanders Cowboys. Will be,
I hope the Commanders score 70 points.
My dad's a Cowboys fan. He was over here yesterday. He's pretty much done. He was like, I don't know why they paid Dak $200 million or whatever. That's the stupidest.
Yeah, let's just move on to that game. 47-9 Lions whooped that ass. They were.
But we got it right, so let's be happier than we were.
The Lions were like making up plays, throwing to linemen in the game.
Yeah, just doing whatever.
It was crazy. Jerry Jones went on radio today and freaked out. He threatened to fire the radio host.
I saw a video where CeeDee Lamb was like cleaning out Dak's locker. I think it was fake or like a joke, but either way, it was funny as hell.
Yeah, it was most likely fake. I don't think he was doing it.
But it was a good win for the Lions. Asserted their dominance over the Thanksgiving. That's the most watched Thanksgiving team now, because I don't give a shit about the Cowboys.
The Cowboys moved to 0-3 at home. That's just crazy. But
admittedly, though, they're always pretty bad at home, right?
Not this bad. This is the first time they're 0-3.
Yeah, they are never this bad. Let's go to the next game, second to last game, Bengals at Giants.
Bengals, thank God. Bengals got the win.
Everybody
Joe Burrow
with
a 50-yard run.
But that was it. He threw 5 touchdown passes against the Ravens and then can only do...
Well, I mean, the Giants' defense showed up. It wasn't Burrow. Like, they were fumbling. No,
I get it. I'm just saying.
The Bengals are just a mess. They figured out a way to get this win, but they got to get this straightened out.
It's frustrating is all I'm really talking about.
It is. The Giants could not do anything, though, offensively.
Yeah. Bengals still have pretty much no hope for the season. This season.
2-4, they got a chance. They're only a game. If you look at the playoff standings, they're only a game back wins. It's still early. They got
Bills at Jets to wrap it up.
Bills at Jets. Bills got the win. It wasn't a pretty game, but they figured out a way to get
penalized, right?
Yeah, the Jets. That was questionable calls against the Jets, but I mean,
both teams. Either way, like it was just like call after call. It was like these refs.
I mean, these were both teams that needed a win. Bills, I think, had 2 straight losses coming in. Jets had 2 straight losses.
In one of our fantasy group football chats, this guy named Dwayne said that the refs were going to have to ice their arms after the game.
Yeah, it was one of those where it's like, this is just getting ridiculous. Let him hold. If
it's this bad. Saleh got fired. They had the defensive coordinator calling plays. He's the interim head coach.
Yeah, he
did a fine job. They got the second half Hail Mary, 4th time in Aaron Rodgers' career. That's pretty cool.
Nuts. They almost pulled it out.
But they did it. Bills win.
But the loss, and then they get Devontae Adams the next day. So watch out for the Jets.
Yeah, they get Devontae Adams. So I went 5-0 on NFL. What'd you do?
4-1.
4-1. All right, so that'll move us to, drum roll please, 11-4 both for the week.
Yes, 11-4.
So good job. I'm 68-38. You're 66-40. So
I hate you.
We're good. We're starting back to rebuild the trends as usual. Let's jump into this week, college football. Starting off the first matchup, what do we have?
Nebraska going to number 16 Indiana. Nebraska. Yep. 5-1, 2-1 in the Big Ten. Indiana 6-0 for the first time in like 50 years. 3-0 in the Big Ten.
Both teams coming out of a bye.
Indiana 6.5-point favorites at home, which is pretty significant. They're minus 230 on the money odds. Last game for Indiana, 41-24 over Northwestern. Last game, Nebraska, 14-7 over Rutgers. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched, honestly. Indiana,
but just for different reasons.
This is their best season in a while. Nebraska, also their best season in a while. I just think Indiana, they're a feel-good story. They haven't been good in so long. I think they're going to come down to earth. I think Nebraska figures out a way in a close game. They have a good defense. They have the young quarterback who's getting better every week. I got Nebraska getting the win, moving to 6-1, becoming bowl eligible. Give me the Cornhuskers.
I don't agree to that. I think the quarterback for Indiana, Curtis Rourke,
He's been having a great season.
protecting the ball very well. He's only thrown 2 interceptions from the season, 14 touchdowns.
Nebraska's defense has been better the past few weeks.
They have. But when he needs to, he can lean on Justice Ellison, the running back. 6 touchdowns, 409 yards on the ground. It's not the most, but it's like 6 yards a carry or 5 yards a carry, whatever it is. It's strong. It does what it needs to do. I think being that they're a well-mixed team, I'm going to disagree with you and say Indiana's going to win.
All right. Let's move on. Next one. This is one of 3 SEC matchups we're going to cover.
This is the toughest pick for me, I think, for the whole week.
This is a big one. Number 7, Alabama, 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC. At number 11, Tennessee, 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC. Big rivalry game here. Alabama, 2.5-point favorites on the road, -135 on the money line. Bama had the huge win against Georgia. They almost blew.
Yep.
Next week,
Huge
historic upset to Vanderbilt loss. Last week, almost another big upset to South Carolina, 27-25 at home.
The Gamecocks been playing their asses off.
But still, that was a loss. Bama did not look good.
They could not have that loss for their season.
But on the other hand, Tennessee, as we said, 5-1, 2-1. 2 games ago, big loss at Arkansas. Big upset loss at Arkansas.
And then last week, they barely beat the Gators.
Barely beat Florida in overtime. So
like,
both teams the past couple weeks have not looked good. Both teams trying to figure it out.
So let's assume that both teams come out at least on the same level. They're both going to be playing, not disgruntled, but out of whack. They're not clicking obviously right now, because when Milroe's clicking, Ryan Williams is clicking. When everybody on Alabama's clicking, they're putting up 50 points a game.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm going to go with Alabama. I trust Milroe. I know what he can do. I trust him more. Tennessee has a good young quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a freshman, first year starting.
But he needs time to grow.
He needs time to grow, and I think that's been evident the past couple weeks. Give me Alabama. In any game, I'm undecided when it's Alabama, especially versus Tennessee, a team that historically, hasn't played up to their billing.
Right.
I'm going to take the Crimson Tide, although this is not the same Crimson Tide we're used to, because they do not have Nick Saban as head coach.
I was about to say, this is the first Nick Saban-less Crimson Tide we've seen in a while, but I think they're still proving they're a worthwhile Alabama team.
Well, I think they're proving they're still a good program. They're just not what they were.
Right. But they've shown moments where they still had that type of fire.
Well, yeah, they still have the talent, but it just goes to show you how good Nick Saban was.
Right. I agree. I think Milroe's going to come out. I think they're going to start clicking like they did previously in the season. I think you can look out for the 17-year-old Ryan Williams. Yeah, and I got Alabama to win the game, cover the spread, hit the over.
I got Alabama by a touchdown.
All of the above. Let's go to the next game. Michigan at Illinois.
This is the one that's probably the hardest for me to pick.
I don't know why. For me, it was easy to go against Michigan on this one. I picked the Illinois Fighting Illini. I'm getting it right because I've seen their name multiple times this season.
Michigan favored it on the road.
But Michigan's been dull, to say the best, right?
Yes, but Illinois, Michigan has their game plan is they're going to run the ball at you. Illinois last week had a 24-point lead at Purdue.
Yeah, and they
Purdue, one of the worst teams in a Power 5 conference.
Yeah, winning 50-44.
Went to overtime. Purdue actually in overtime went for the win. They went for 2 to try to win it. They didn't get it.
What you just said is what I kind of keyed in on when I was looking at Illinois. Michigan's going to run the ball down your throat, right? They average, I think, 180-something, 190 yards a game on the ground. That's a good amount, not the most in college. It's middle of the pack, upper tier maybe. Illinois is 40 yards a game behind that. But
it's a big 40 yards.
I agree. But they're miles ahead in the air.
Yeah,
I say
Michigan
miles, but Michigan has a well worse off quarterback situation.
I agree, but Michigan's game plan is to hold on to the ball, and they're not running the fast-paced offense that
you're not going to get
the
clock time if you're Illinois. But once you start the drive with Illinois, I think because they're well-rounded, they're going to be able to continue drives. They're not going to just be shut out by Michigan's defense. We've seen that happen with those 2 losses this season. I pick Illinois, the Fighting Illini, to beat Michigan with the home field swing on their side.
I got the Wolverines. I think they go to Champaign, Illinois, and get the dub.
All right, I gotta stop being an asshole this week. I'm gonna go. Let's talk LSU versus the Razorbacks. Arkansas.
Number 7 LSU. Going to
They're
Arkansas.
7. They updated it.
Yeah,
Nice.
trap game. Arkansas's 4-2, 2-1. As we said earlier, they beat Tennessee
Yep.
in their last game 2 weeks ago. LSU coming off their biggest win of the year against Ole Miss at home. LSU,
It was a tough game.
it's a tough game, yeah. LSU's 2.5-point favorites at Arkansas. This has historically been a tough place for LSU to play, but they're slight favorites in the game. I think this is going to be a nail-biting, close game.
Yeah.
But I think the Tigers have a little more on offense than the Razorbacks do. I think their defense is starting to put it together. Weeks is a fucking dog.
Yeah, he is.
So give me the Tigers over the Razorbacks.
Man, Arkansas has been in close competition with every team but
Yes.
week 1 when they beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 70-0.
Yes.
Since then, I don't want to say it's been downhill for them, but it's been like very contentious games almost for no reason. You know, playing down to their competition, but also playing up. They've had highlights, but they've also had bad starts. I think LSU, as much as I've, shit on them, not shit on them, but thought they were going to lose a few times this season. They pulled it out every time. The offense has shown that the offense is that type again. It's going to be that high-powered, even though they give up some scores.
Not quite as much.
But the defense has shown a lot better in recent weeks. It held its own a lot better, even though they've given up scores. They've given up way less yards. So I agree. I think LSU is going to win for the second-to-last game for our college football.
And then the last one is
date.
the game of the week. Number 5, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs going to number 1, Texas. I think we're going to find out a lot about Texas in this game. Georgia, 5-1, 3-1 in the SEC. Texas, 6-0, 2-0 in the SEC. Georgia coming off of a lackluster win against Mississippi State, one of the worst teams in the SEC, 41-31. It was a close game for no reason. I don't think it was ever in doubt, but Georgia just let them hang around a little bit.
Yeah, what's Carson Beck doing lately?
I've never been a big Carson Beck fan, if I'm honest.
I mean,
Texas,
Yeah,
as
I
we said
agree.
earlier, they beat the shit out of OU in a game that's usually close between two rivals. Everything is saying Texas. Everybody's talking about Texas. The hype on Texas is up very high right now. That's the only thing giving me a little pause right now.
why? Because there's some college kids? And you think
Because
they're
there's some
gonna just-
college kids, and I know Georgia's using that as motivation. Georgia has been a good team for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Texas has only recently, in the past couple of years, been at this level.
With only one loss, Georgia's fallen far, though.
They have, but I think
They went 29 games prior to this season without a loss or something crazy. And
that's
now with one loss, everybody's counting them out.
I think that's
That's what you're saying.
motivation for
Right.
the Georgia Bulldogs. And because of that, I'm convincing myself I'm picking the Georgia Bulldogs. I think everybody's telling you to pick Texas. Everything's saying Texas. I think Georgia's going to
Gotta
feed
change.
I think Georgia's going to feed into that. I don't like Georgia, but I think they're going to come out. I think the Bulldogs get the win. They show Texas, hey, this is the SEC. You're not just going to run through it like everybody thinks you are.
Well, to your credit, they've had 4 SEC games. Their lone loss is an SEC team. They're 3-1 in the SEC.
Yes.
So I get what you're saying. I disagree wholeheartedly because I think Texas is the real deal this season. They've shown a few things. It doesn't matter what quarterback they play. They got it.
They haven't played a top caliber team, though.
Right, but they're prepared. Regardless of what has happened, they've been prepared. They are prepared to win. They're prepared to not make the mistakes they need to not make. And I think they're going to continue to do that all the way to the college football championship this season.
Is that a prediction, a midseason?
Mid-season prediction. Yeah,
Give me the Bulldogs.
I got Texas winning. You got the Bulldog. Let's go to the NFL.
Yeah, we got 5 NFL games now.
Texans at Packers. Green Bay is currently favored at home by 2.5, so they got the home field advantage. Over under 47.5, pretty much toss up on the money line. Texans got Joe Mixon back, playing well with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I think
Nico Collins, I think, is still going to be out, but Tank Dell replaced him quite well.
And as a
If I
team
didn't
that's
say so myself.
4-1 now, they probably played one of their best games last week. I
4-1
know it was against
with their only loss to the Vikings.
the only loss to the Vikings. They had some close games where people were like, poo-pooing them, but they played pretty well against the Patriots last week.
Yeah,
but on the flip side,
21 against Drake May.
the Packers 4-2 dominated the Cardinals. I feel like nobody's talking about the Pack. I feel like both of these teams nobody's really talking about.
So one of my fantasy leagues, I drafted Jordan Love to replace Aaron Rodgers, and I just was never excited about him, so I traded him off for a first, drafted Caleb Williams.
He's pretty good.
And he's a
puts up some
damn good
stats.
quarterback, regardless of fantasy purposes. Knowing that I traded him makes me want to look out for him. He is a damn good quarterback. He missed maybe a game this season or something, earlier with a light injury, concussion, whatever it was. But him, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dubes got back in good graces after getting suspended.
Watson.
Forget Christian Watson in the scheme of things, because Dubes was like the intended guy to be number one over there, and he just had some personal conduct issues that
happens to the best of them.
Des Bryant, hashtag.
Antonio Brown.
Hashtag.
But yeah, I got the Packers winning the game. I think they win at home. Beat the Texans.
I agree. Packers are going to win. I think the Texans are good, but the Packers have really everything, especially with Josh Jacobs. The whole offense is kind of clicking.
Let's move on. Next game. I think it's one of the most. It's a game between two of the most complete teams in the NFL. Division rivalry, NFC North. The 4-1 Lions, who are 2-0 on the road, taking on the 5-0 Vikings, 3-0 at home.
Surprise from Sam Darnold being.
Sam Darnold has been on fire.
I would say.
So is Jared Goff, though.
Firmly in the top 4 MVP.
MVP, definitely.
Yeah.
Lions, as we talked about earlier, fresh off of the ass whooping to the Cowboys in Dallas.
But
Vikings had a week off after a London trip. They
that was what I was going to say.
Beat the Jets.
Now that's a great thing. You come off of a bye after a London game, which means you actually don't have jet lag. You get to rest.
Yeah, they had
you get to
plenty of time
plan for a great Lions team for 10, 11 days, and before you face them. That's awesome, especially with Aiden Hutchinson breaking his fibula and tibula.
I agree, but as a team that's early in the season and you're hot, do you want the early bye week? Do you want to keep your momentum going?
Well, I mean, you know how I feel about a college week 3 bye. I think it's the stupidest shit in the world. Just make one whole week of no college team playing instead of that, if that's the case. But I think the Vikings are staying hot. You got the best wide receiver in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. You got a strong team with the Vikings overall. After not having to spend a whole bunch of money on a quarterback or, draft and rely on that guy, you got a steal in Sam Darnold. And he's performing like he means it. He's doing the Geno Smith thing right now.
He is.
The Baker Mayfield thing. And I think the Vikings, especially at home, they're going to have all the fans in the stadium for them. I think they're going to go 6-0, 4-0 at home.
I think it's going to be a close game, but I disagree with you. I think the Lions pull it out. I think the Lions are a team that this is their second or third year of being like a legit team.
They are good. That's one thing you can't deny is they've been consistently good for 2-3 years now, and it's something to say for sure.
So, because the Lions, this is what Jared Goff did. He did exactly what you're saying that Sam Darnold's doing. He went to a new team and kind of rebirthed his career. It's like he's a legitimate
he was like
top
a pretty boy in
quarterback.
SoCal with the Rams at one point. Now he's not in the dirt with Detroit, but he's
gritty.
He's not overshadowed by the team. He fits in the scheme.
Yeah, but I got the Lions winning.
Cool difference there. Chiefs at 49ers is next.
Chiefs at 49ers.
This one blows my mind because when I placed my bet, the Chiefs had a positive plus odds money line, plus 105.
Me too. I had plus 100 at even.
So that is crazy to me. The 49ers are 3-3, regardless at home. They have a 1.5, 2-point spread, over under 47. It's not crazy. It's not, the most or anything. But 49ers don't have Christian McCaffrey. They have Jordan Mason, who's been replacing him well. But Brock Purdy has still been playing that, good game, but just not doing enough to get the win. He's doing 3-3 type games.
I was going to come in fully prepared to pick the 49ers. But this is actually going to be my guest pick of the week.
Wow.
Beautiful fiance Clara gave her the list of picks. Surprise, the Chiefs.
She's low-hanging fruit,
The
please?
Chiefs are her favorite NFL team.
Really?
Their favorite NFL team recently.
Shout out Clara. It's Taylor Swift.
So she's picking the Chiefs.
Damn it. I just caught on.
Chiefs to
I counter that with Butker.
Stay undefeated, 6-0. So I'm going with my beautiful fiance Clara. Chiefs, I think they continue their undefeated start to the season. They got the refs on their side too, so that's always a plus. Give me the Chiefs to go into San Fran, Super Bowl rematch, get the win.
Yeah, I don't see why they don't. I said this a few weeks ago when the Chiefs were minus 300. That's low odds for them. They should be winning. They should be minus 700 until they win a game. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the money line all day.
Yeah, the plus money line on the Chiefs is crazy.
Sneak peek, I put a bet on that one because why would you not? Let's go to the last game.
Second to last game. Sunday Night Football.
Jets at Steelers.
Jets desperately needing a win after 3 straight losses.
So let's take a look at the Jets. They're minus Robert Saleh, but they're plus Devontae Adams as of today.
And now they're favorites at Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 4-2.
Yeah, because this Pittsburgh Steelers, regardless of how decent they've been doing at 4-2, they still have the mistake-driven Justin Fields.
Yeah, but Tomlin hinted at possibly Russell Wilson being the starter this week.
That doesn't help.
We'll see
you
if
saw
that
him
helps.
in Denver last week, right?
I did.
Not last week, last year.
I so desperately want the Jets to win. I think this is almost I don't know.
This is a need to win type game for Aaron Rodgers. I think he needs to prove something. He's had 2 growing performances in a row. The week before last, I think he threw for almost 300 yards, a couple touchdowns, 1 interception.
But 3 picks.
Or 3 picks.
In London, he threw 3 picks.
There you go. But
they fired Robert Saleh.
But then
he didn't play
last
bad
week.
Last
he played
week.
a lot better. They just lost a close game.
And now he has Devontae Adams, his best friend and one of the best receivers in the NFL.
His whole roster is his best friend. All people he loves.
He has no excuse now. The Jets are kind of we're going all in on you, so come on, Aaron.
You're the head coach, Aaron Rodgers. You got to win this damn game. I
love
Jets.
Aaron Rodgers, so I'm picking the Jets. I think he steps up to the plate.
I agree.
I got the Jets winning.
I agree. Ravens at Buccaneers is the
Monday
Monday
night
football game.
Ravens, rare to see in the NFL. I know both teams are 4-2, so just think about this. Both teams 4-2. But Ravens on the road.
How did the Ravens start?
They started 0-2, right?
Right.
But exactly, they've been one of the hottest teams, probably the hottest team in the NFL.
They won a 5-touchdown shootout to Joe Burrow.
Ravens on the road are 3.5-point favorites and minus 190 on the odds.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks coming off of a huge win against the Saints, but as we said, the Saints injury-ridden.
I would say the Bucks are on the short list for a Super Bowl appearance at this point.
I definitely wouldn't.
Not the Bucks. I mean the Ravens.
The Ravens, yes.
The Ravens are on the short list for a Super Bowl appearance at this point. The problem is you have Lamar Jackson, who's a dual threat. He's become accurate all of a sudden.
Well, because he
can throw, or he can run still.
Derrick Henry has 700 yards through 6 games right now.
But this is the thing. If he decides he doesn't want to throw, he can just run himself. So you have a guy who's that crazy dual threat with one of the best running backs to ever exist, who's a monster size of a human in Derrick Henry. It's hard to beat that.
I saw something that this year, because they track how fast players go, Derrick Henry has the second fastest clock speed in all the NFL for any player at any point in the game.
And he's 6'10".
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He might not be 6'10".
I think the Ravens...
He's so tall, though.
I think the Ravens, they're my Super Bowl pick right now.
They're playing so much better. For them to have a similar record to the Chiefs, having a couple losses, but having...
And they lost that close game to... I think they're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Give me the Ravens all day in Tampa. I think
agree.
Tampa's not a hard place to play. It's a nice area.
Yeah.
Nice stadium. There's going to be a lot of Ravens fans there.
Wait, is it still a nice stadium?
Yes, it is. Give me the Ravens.
All right,
Ravens with the dub.
I agree. Ravens going to win. All right, let's go to our total standings for the season to wrap up the episode, and then we'll jump into our bets for the week just to give you everything. You want to run through your total picks after that?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
So I'm 68-38 in total picks. Christian, you're 66-40, so I have a slight edge on you there. I'm going to edge you. We both went 11-4 last week, so that's good performances there. I'm 22-18 in overall bets. You're 19-21 in overall bets. You went up 1.2 units to be exact last week. I went down 0.7, both in a 3-2 situation.
Yeah, the plus odds on LSU helped me a lot.
They did. That's the sole reason you went up, because we matched 2 of the other bets we had that both won. But yeah, this week I have Brady Highstand money line minus 158, 2 units. Charles Energy Johnson money line minus 235, 2 units. LSU money line minus 137. Green Bay money line minus 156. And Kansas City money line plus 105. All 2 units on my bets this week. Christian, my boy, what you got?
All 2 units for me too. Alex actually made a change on my bets too, so just listen closely. I got Michel Pereira money line at plus 115. I got High Stand money line at minus 150. I got LSU minus 2.5 points at minus 110. I got the Georgia Bulldogs money line plus 150. And then I have the Jets money line minus 125. All 2 units as well.
Nice. I like them. All right, what about your total picks for the week? Let's run through your 5 UFC if you got them, and then we'll run through the 10 football and leave.
I'll just give you everything right now, Alex.
Yes, sir. Give me everything you got.
Michel Pereira, Kyler Phillips, Charles Johnson, Brady Highstand, Darren Elkins, Nebraska Cornhuskers, Alabama Crimson Tide, Michigan Wolverines, LSU Tigers, Georgia Bulldogs, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, from my beautiful fiancée Clara, New York Jets, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Nice. So just a heads up, Christian is overall like 62.4% for over a year's worth of picks. So if you want to follow those, expect him to miss like 3 to 4 picks. Just saying. My picks, Daniel Pineda, Brady Highstand, Charles Johnson, Kyler Phillips, Michel Pereira, Indiana, Alabama, Illinois, LSU, and Texas. Those are college football. And then for NFL, I'm going to go with the Packers, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Jets, and the Ravens. I'm like 64.1%. So I'll probably miss the same amount, maybe one less than you. We're close. But yeah, that's everything we got for you this week. Check us out next week. What are we looking at?
We got episode 65, so that's going to be, we're going to cover football as usual.
Mm-hmm.
We got a numbered UFC card next week, UFC 308, Taporia versus Holloway.
Man, I need Holloway to win that fight. Shut that fucking Spanish dude up.
Me too. And then we're going to recap the football on UFC we picked this week. So check it out, episode 65.
All right. Like and subscribe. Thanks.